Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. And I want to recall a story that I had experienced just this morning at the grocery store. And I don't need to name names or stores in particular because it's not relevant here. It's not even really a complaint, but an observation about the hazards of intense customer service training. This is not even a grind my gears. Again, this is not a complaint, but an observation. I'm going to try to keep it diplomatic and fair. So the incident in question was I was doing my morning shopping. I pretty much buy something each day if I'm able to, and on this day there was no difference, but the store that I currently go to, there's a very outgoing manager, and he has obviously been trained with extreme intensity to be outgoing, to, if somebody's within visual range, you greet them. And I've heard all this stuff myself because I've been in customer service jobs also, and I know what they get, how they get trained. And this poor man is, just all day he's at work, running around with this fake smile on his face, and he's convinced himself that he's happy while he's there, and it's because his training was not unclear about the requirement to be outgoing, social, and over-the-top friendly to everybody if you even see them. So right off the bat, you walk into the store and this man is he's just at your throat telling you, "Good morning, how are you? Are you having, is there anything I can do for you?" And it's just like, so, I wasn't having it this morning, okay? I don't have to meet that level of energy when I go into the store. I never do. And I can tell it bothers him when I fail to respond. So sometimes I just ignore him completely because I'm allowed to. I don't owe this man anything besides the price of the goods that I'm buying, honestly. So I go in and I do my shopping. I buy a few items and I'm headed to the check stand. And this guy, he greeted me at the door originally this morning. And I basically just ignored him and walked into the store and started shopping. And I'm allowed to do that, like I said. So before I'm headed to the check stand, he circles around deliberately, and I can tell that he's pissed off, but he has no outlet for this because of his training, because of his position as a manager, and because of the fact that there's employees watching him all day. So he's upset that I have the liberty to not rise to that level of energy, to not have to contort myself into some kind of artificial social beast just because I'm being paid, because I'm not being paid to shop there, right? So he's, trying to process this in the context of his training, and he's resentful. I can tell this man is deeply resentful of me and my freedom to ignore him. So it's that simple, and he circles back around because it's just eating away at him. And the man broke down and called me an asshole. He told me to get the fuck out of his store and not come back, and I said, "For what?" He said, "Because you're an asshole." And I said, "When was I an asshole?" I said, "When was I?" I didn't even say the word asshole. I didn't cuss at him at all. And he was at a loss because in his brain, he was searching for the memory of when I was out of line, when I did something inappropriate, and there was no memory because I never did. And this is a really sad fact in modern customer service. They are beaten into the shape that fits the corporation. They are beaten into service of the corporation, and they have abandoned their own, they have betrayed their own respect, their own dignity, their own right to choose their level of involvement, which is suspended when they sign the agreement to work there. They become a function of that business, that corporation, and it acts through them via the training and via expectations, via memos and emails and bulletins and performance reviews and the threat of being fired. Honestly, the threat, the constant unspoken threat that your very survival depends on pleasing your boss. Okay, so this man, he has been told all his life that he has to get a job. He's got to coin up. He has to earn a living. And so with that in mind, believing it, first of all, he has then moved on to the expectation that in order to keep a job, you have to do what you're told. And when he is told to do something like act as if you love everybody who comes in the store, and they've broken his brain. Long story short, this poor manager's brain has been destroyed by his employer, and he's stuck in this mode of being fake friendly all day to people he couldn't give a shit less about, and he can't process why somebody who comes in the store is able to act differently than he is expected to act. How somebody can have a level of freedom that is beyond his reach because he has sold out completely to his job. So here's a problem. I walk in and all I have to do is ignore the dude and he flips out. His brain just falls apart, and this is a common problem. So I asked him. I said, "What do you figure I owe you, bud?" And he's again at a loss. He says, "You don't owe me anything." I said, "Okay, so why are you throwing me out of your store?" "Because you're an asshole." "When was I an asshole?" "Because you didn't," he's thinking in his head, "because you didn't greet me." But he can't say it because I'm not required to. So you see the problem. You sell yourself, you sell your purpose to an employer. And in final conclusion, I don't want to go on and on. There's a difference between employment and empowerment. People tell you that you should get a job. People tell you that you should be employed, and they mean to say that you should be empowered. And people conflate these two things, don't they? Employment and empowerment are opposites. People confuse opposites. I will say that again. Employment and empowerment are opposite things. You can work for yourself, which is empowerment. If you work for someone else, that's employment, and you become a function of them. Something to think about. Reach out if you like with questions or comments down below. Thank you.